Hi guys, welcome to my channel Sprout Some Joy, where we talk about all things joy, aka mostly plants. Last week we talked about how to get set up, especially if you are new to growing. And then we also shared some examples of seeds to start off with if you are a beginner. I'm super excited to show you guys what 7 days of growth looks like. Before we dive in, I wanted to answer a few quick questions. First and foremost, always get asked, what are the best types of lights to grow indoors? The best lighting for an indoor system is what's known as LED grow lights. They essentially mimic the full spectrum of light that the plant needs to conduct photosynthesis. Think of it as like a fake sun. They're super energy efficient and they produce less heat, which is ideal. And you can position these a couple of inches above your plant. So this is where it was. You want to put it a couple of inches higher so that it gets light. And then as soon as the plant grows, you want to try adjusting it so that the leaves don't burn. The next question that I get a lot is, what is the ideal temperature for growing indoors? Controlling the temperature and the humidity is super, super important to ensure that your plants thrive. The ideal temperature range is around 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 18 to 24 Celsius. And the ideal humidity range is about 40 to 60%. So depending on what the temperature is indoors, you can either turn on your heater or AC, or you could use a fan to adjust the temperature as needed. And then depending on how humid your home is, you can either get a dehumidifier to reduce the humidity, or you can purchase a humidifier to make things a little bit more humid for your plants. It also depends a little bit on what you're growing. So some plants do prefer a little bit cooler of temperatures, like your greens and lettuces. They'll do a little bit better in a cooler environment versus if you're growing like tomatoes or peppers, they actually are a little bit more heat and humidity loving. Regardless, as long as you're in that room temperature range, you should be good to go. Another question I get asked all too often is, how do you prevent pests? If you're starting with a clean system, typically you won't have pests to start with. But of course you want to regularly inspect your leaves and ensure that there's no sort of sticky residue or holes, because those are signs of insects. If you do happen to get pests, what I recommend is neem oil. It is natural and it's probably my favorite thing to use to ward off pests. Again, keeping your area clean, making sure there's no sort of stuff around it obviously will prevent any sort of bugs. But if it does come up, you have your handy dandy neem oil. Awesome. I'm super, super pumped to show you guys what 7 days of growth looks like. So let's go ahead and get started.
This is day 1. As you can see, there's quite a bit of moisture building up inside some of the domes. That's a great thing because the moisture, the heat, the light are all creating the perfect conditions for the seeds to germinate. Day 2, we saw our first little lettuce leaves sprout. It's always so thrilling to see those first signs of life. Did you know that lettuce is one of the fastest growing hydroponic plants? It can be ready to harvest in as little as 3 to 4 weeks. On day 2, we also had a pea sprout starting to poke its head out of the nutrient-rich water. By day 3, we had even more lettuce and pea sprouts, and guess what? A bean sprout decided to join our party. Beans are great for hydroponics because they thrive in water and can produce a lot of food in a really small space. On day 4, we had a lot more growth. The lettuce and peas were going strong. The bean sprout was starting to stretch out. And we also had a new friend, tarragon. Tarragon is a fantastic herb to grow indoors that adds a wonderful flavor to dishes. By day 5, you truly start to feel the progress. The lettuce and the peas are having a growth spurt, the beans are starting to grow, and the tarragon was starting to get that lovely aromatic scent. Hydroponic systems allow plants to grow 50% faster than in soil, and we're definitely starting to see that speed here. By day 6, you're committed. Almost all of the plants are starting to thrive, and it's so satisfying to see them grow day by day. Fun fact, hydroponic gardens use up to 90% less water than traditional soil gardening. So this actually is super eco-friendly. And here we are on day 7, and wow, what a difference a week makes. If you've made it this far, you're officially an indoor gardener. Check out all of this growth. The beans and peas are off to a solid start, and we are just getting started. The star of the show today is the pepper plant, which has really taken off. Peppers are excellent for hydroponics and can produce fruit year-round if you keep the conditions right. And of course, there's a lot of lettuce action and some herbs as well. In just 2 weeks or so, we'll be able to start harvesting some of the lettuce for a fresh farm-to-table salad. That's the update for our first week. Tune in next week for our full 2-week update. I'm super excited to show you all of the progress. If you're enjoying these updates and want to follow along with the journey, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.